Hello children, I'm just back with a new video. Hope you all are well and staying at your home. Okay, so children, we were discussing about chapter number 5, Indian subcontinent in the 6th century BC, evolution of state system and religion in North India. I had discussed about 16 mahajanapadas. I also told that what is the meaning of janas, janapadas and mahajanapadas. For your better understanding, I'm just going to repeat one more time in our video with a very gist conception. Just listen to me very carefully, that in ancient India, areas larger than the village came to be known as janas, and whenever the janas, they had just started to just establish or to just build up a bigger dynasty, that came to be known as the janapadas. I had segregated the word janapadas into two different things. One is called jana and number two, this is called pada. So jana means janagan or common people, whereas pad means it's feet of the human being. So from there we have come to know the meaning of janapada is when for the first time people just put their step inside. So this is called janapada, and finally when the janapadas, they had started quarreling with one another to expand their territories further, and since that time few janapadas just accumulated together, they got just shifted together, and finally that gave the birth of mahajanapadas. Okay, in the 6th century BC we have just come to know from the Jain scripture, that is Jain Bhagavati Sutra, and from the Buddhist text Anguttara Nikaya, two different scriptures I had already mentioned in my previous class. If you are just listening me for the first time in this video, please check it out. Check out the previous video from where you have just come to know the detailed thing about the mahajanapadas. Okay, so from there we had just come to know there were existence of total 16 mahajanapadas in ancient India. And most importantly, amongst all the 16 mahajanapadas, 4 mahajanapadas were very powerful. I'm just going to take all the names of the 4 different powerful mahajanapadas. They are as follows: Avanti, Vatsya, Koshala, and the last one was the Magadha. I just repeat: Avanti, Vatsya, Koshala and Magadha. Amongst these 4 mahajanapadas, Magadha was most powerful mahajanapada, I told. Now in this video I will just tell you, you will just come to learn that how and why did Magadha become the most important and the powerful mahajanapada in ancient India. I repeat, the topic of today's, that is how and why did the Magadha mahajanapada become the most important and the strongest or the powerful mahajanapada in ancient time in ancient India. Okay, first of all, I have just discussed the topic. Whenever I'm just before let's get started, I will tell you the total 10 points I have just made by myself, from where you will just come to know that what were the means causes or the reasons behind the formation of the Magadha mahajanapada, and why did it become flourish so much, and why did it last for a long span of time in the ancient Indian history. We'll just come to know from here. So this is my request, this is my recommendation. Don't just skip the video and watch the video till the end, as because at the end of the video a surprise is waiting for you. Okay, so let's get started. Now I will tell you and I will also explain one by one that why did Magadha become the most powerful and the strongest mahajanapada in ancient time India. The first point I have to discuss, that is rivers and hills, means the rivers and hills of the Magadhan mahajanapada at the time. Oh children, I completely forgot to tell you that what is the location of the Magadha mahajanapada or Magadha at the time. Magadha was located at the time, means at present time it's in Bihar. Yes, exactly, it's in Bihar. So if you're having a book or an Indian map with you, you may please go over there. You can search it out that where Bihar is located. It is just beside our own state, West Bengal, where the Magadhan dynasty or the Magadhan Mahajanapada was founded. As because in Magadhan Mahajanapada, in Magadhan dynasty, so many of the superb kings, they had just dominated, they had just ruled over the entire territory, especially in the South India also. So that's why Magadhan dynasty, Magadhan empire is much more important, and it's having an utmost importance to us. Okay, so the first point, don't just forget, I have told that the existence of rivers and hills, the presence of rivers and hills. I think you may just predict that why was rivers and hills so much convenient for the development of the Magadhan empire or for the development of the Magadhan dynasty. What can be happened with the existence of the rivers and hills in a particular Mahajanapada? Yes, I know that you know the answer. Rivers, especially two different rivers. One is called Ganga and another one is a Son river. I repeat, Ganga and Son, that flowed away along through this dynasty or Magadha, and that gave a tremendous blow to the Magadhan dynasty, as because the fertility of the soil, as because the silt deposited over there annually every time, and when it was the flood time, at the time the river flowed away from through this land, and for that reason it just added the minerals, the and the fertility to the soil, and for that reason agriculturally Magadhan dynasty or Magadhan empire became very much strong. And we know, children, that at present time also India is having an agro-based economy, so that's why they did not have any problem with their livelihood. The common peoples or the citizens of the Magadhan dynasty, they could easily earn their livelihood by practicing cultivation, farming and peasantry. So the rivers helped a lot in expanding the Magadhan territory further. Okay, number 2, the presence of hills was very much convenient for the development or for the flourishing of the Magadhan dynasty or the empire at the time. Why so? As because Magadhan dynasty was surrounded by the different hills at the time, and along with the presence of rivers. Again, I'm telling, I just missed one point from there, as because the foreign invaders, they could not just directly come and just put their own feet inside this territory. I repeat, it protected the Magadhan empire or the dynasty from the foreign attacks or the foreign invasion. So I'm just going to repeat once again, just memorize with me, children. You don't need to just read the book so many times. If you're just listening me carefully, I'm pretty sure about it that after the end of the video you will just come to know the real facts of the Magadhan dynasty, as well as the chapter will be easily memorized by all of you. So I'm just going to repeat once again the first point. The presence of rivers and hills gave the extra facility or the opportunity to the Magadhan empire, as because the location of Magad at the time, it was very good, very beautiful, and for that reason it had given the protection to the Magadhan dynasty, to the Magadhan rulers and their subjects, means the citizens of Magad at the time. At the same time, for that reason, no foreign invasion could be conducted so easily. For that reason, they could easily come to invade the common peoples and their assets, everything. Okay, number 2, I have told that river Ganges and Son, that had been just flowed along through this dynasty or the empire, and that was the privilege. I must say, children, that was the privilege, and for that reason the peoples, especially the common peoples at the time, they became very much optimistic for that, and finally they are just given the blessings of God. It means, yes, surely, as because the fertility of soil, it was so good, and for that reason the cultivable lands were utilized. It was just used by the common peoples to produce their daily needs, to just meet their daily needs. It became possible. Okay, number 2, this topic is very important. This reason, I think, children, you will just love it, as because Magad at the time, it was just densely the forest, it was dense forest. The presence of dense forest was there, and henceforth inside the forest the elephants were just found in a large quantity, in a large number. Yes, elephants, they were just found in large number. So the emperor and the common peoples, they had not just feared out of the elements. They were not frightened to see the elephants. Oh my God, the elephant is just coming, it's just rushing towards us. No, they were not frightened yet, as because they were very much cunning. They were very much clever to utilize the elephants in their own way. So how did the elephants provide them different aspects and different possibilities to just expand their territories. Let's have a look. The first thing is that the elephants, they could just carry the timber or the big woods through their trunk, isn't it? So for that reason, they could just easily carry the timber or the woods from a particular place, and that was shifted to another place. This was the first one. And number two, the transportation from one place to another, it becomes so convenient and easier when the elephants, they were found inside the forest. And three, this is very important, the elephants were also just used for maintaining the army. Since from the army, they could just sit over there, and whenever the battle it took place, when a fierce battle or a war took place between the Magadhan Mahajanapada and any other Mahajanapada such as Vaishali or Rajgriha at the time, they could easily just get the victory over there, as because sitting on horse and sitting on elephant whenever the war is going on, that can be very much convenient, as because at the time you can just feel that something big is going on. Yes, elephant is so big, so that's why you can just get the victory, or you can just win over that matter. So these three prominent things you have to just memorize. I'm just going to repeat once again, children. This is the learning capsule for you. You have to just eat it with water. Okay, so the first thing is that they could just easily use or utilize the elephants for carrying out the woods and timbers from one particular place to another place. It could be just easily installed, it could be easily shifted from one place to another. And number two, for the transport system from one place to another, they could easily go by means riding on the backs of the elephants. And number three, it was also just used for the military, for the army. They could easily just sit over there and could fight with the foreign invaders or any means neighbor states also. So this is the second one. Now I'm just moving forward to point number 4. I'm just going to repeat what I have just told to you. The rivers, the presence of rivers and hills. Number 2, I have told that is the presence of the rivers, 2 different rivers that had just flowed away along through the Magadhan Empire, and that are as follows: river Ganga and so on. Number 3, dense forest. I mean the elephants, from where they could just easily get it, the help. They used to just get the help from the elephants. Oh my god. Okay, number 3, iron and copper mines. So we're talking about 6th century BC. During that time, iron and copper mines were not totally unknown to the Indian peoples at the time. So mining of copper and iron was one of the most benevolent and the convenient process of livelihood at the time. So whenever irons and coppers that were mined from digging by digging the ground from underground, it was just when it was just dug up, so they could just use the copper and iron in different ways, in different different ways of the life, different spheres of the life. In which way the iron and copper could be just utilized? Let's have a look. Previously, before the invention of copper and irons and all these things, the peoples or the ancient people, they were absolutely dependent on what? You have to just tell me, children, what? That was stone. Yes, they were just absolutely dependent on stone. And you know, children, I just had played a drama inside your class, and I told that how could it be very much inconvenient for the ancient people to just use the stone. So that's why, as because the stone was so big, the size was so vast, it was too heavy for them, so that it could not be just used properly to just throw towards the fierce animals. So that's why when the coppers and the irons was just utilized, means it was just discovered, it was just explored by the ancient peoples, it became quite convenient for them to just conduct any war with any, it could be any fierce animals, and somehow it could be with men or different clans, with the different tribal peoples. It became so much convenient and possible for them. So with the invention of iron and coppers, when the iron and copper mining was going on, that just paved the way for the development, and that had opened a new window for the ancient peoples, especially those who used to just reside inside the Magad, for their better living. So iron and copper could be just used for different purposes, such as it could be tools, and different implements were made with the help of copper and irons. And number 2, that is for their daily, for meeting up their daily needs, for their daily purposes, they could easily just use copper and iron. Number 5, we are just moving forward. Number 5, water and land transportation. Water and land transportation, when it comes in our mind, the water transportation, it was very good, and there was no obstruction, there was no obstacle with the water transportation since the ancient time, as because we know that waterway transportation was a much more convenient transportation of India since the very beginning of the civilization. Even you have just read, if you have just studied about the Harappan civilization, the Indus Valley civilization, Mesopotamian civilization, Egyptian civilization, from different civilizations, you have just come to know that what is the importance of the waterway transportation at the time. Along with the roadway transportation was also very much, it was on hype at the time. So that's why two different types of transportation gave the extra facility or the privilege to the common peoples, even to the emperor of the Magadhan dynasty. So water and the land transportation had just played a very good role, a very tremendously good role for the development or for flourishing the Magadhan dynasty during that time. And number 6, this is dense population. Magad was densely populated, and children, I know that when I'm just talking about the dense popularity or the population of a particular state or a particular country, you may think that this is not good, sir. I know, but during that time, I mean 6th century BC, children, during that time the dense population, it was needed. Why so? As because collective work was very important at the time. The peoples, they had to just work very hard for the production. So that's why if the area was densely populated, it could be easier for them for the production, for just yielding crops and all these things. So that's why the dense population was needed, not only for the production, not only for producing different type of paddies, shivers and corns and all these things. No, not only that, whenever the warlike situation was created at the time, this dense population or the population at the time, it was much more needed. So that's why the dense population at the time of the Magadhan dynasty or the Magadhan empire had also played a very vital role for the promotion, for the development and for flourishing the Magadhan dynasty in a short span of time. Okay, number 7, there is one single king or monarch. Last day, children, I told that the administrative system or the administrative structure of the 16 mahajanapadas or Shodash mahajanapadas were divided into two different ways. One is called republic. I had just given a certain idea about the republican government that is prevailing, that has been prevailing inside our country. Though the concept of the republican government was first created in a very small city of Greece, that is in Athens. It was in Athens. Okay, so we'll just come to know by our next class, when you will be in standard 7. At the time, I will just teach what is the republican government in details. Okay, before that, I want to tell you that one single king or the monarch prevailed over there. So monarchical government, and 2, this was a republican government. So for the republican government at the time, it was not very much convenient, because different persons, they're having different perspectives with them. Every time they were in fight, they have a fight with each other. Everyone wanted to just sit over the throne. But if in the monarchical government, if the monarchical system was going on, if it was a hierarchical government, obviously there should have also a fight, a quarreling, a power tussle can be there. But still, as because the monarch was having the autonomous power, as because he was a despotic king, he was not controlled by anyone. So that's why he could give the punishment to all those who were opposing the rules of the king. So that's why, as because in Magad we could see that one single ruler or king, he had started ruling over there. So that's why the common peoples, they had to bow down their head in front of the king, and the king was very powerful. I don't know whether it was unfortunately or fortunate facts for the Magadhan people, but still we have just come to know that lots of kings and the rulers and the emperors, they had just put their they had just sit over there. And finally, when they just used to just put the crown on their head, and they were very much powerful. They were just trust me, they were very much powerful, and for that reason one single king or monarch could just play a very vital role for the development, for the flourishing of that particular territory. Number 8, this was a vast empire. You can see if you just search it in internet, the location of Magadha, or if you just don't need to just search in internet, if you just use your book, you can see the you can see your atlas or any geography book or history book. You will see that the geographical location of Magadha, since the very beginning of starting this video, I have already told you that the geographical location of Magadha, it was very good, and for that reason that had just given extra facility to the common peoples of the Magadha and Mahajanapada. So that's why the vast empire had also played a very vital role for the promotion, for the flourishing of this state or this territory. Now number 9, this is able kings one after another. Yes, I have already told what was the thing, is because the one single king one after another, when they sat on the throne, and what was happened, children, as because sitting on the throne, they had just they were having their charismatic nature, by their personal life, they were very much skilled in warfare. So that's why so many times the Magadhan dynasty, the Magadhan king, they had have a fight with another clan, another neighboring state, but what was the outcome? Every time the Magadhan dynasty, they had just won. Why so? As because the king, they were very skilled, they were very much skilled in warfare, they were very skilled in their battlefield. So for that reason it became quite convenient for them to just conduct the war, and finally they had won. And what were the important perspectives and what were the important reasons for what the Magadhan king, they had just getting the victory? They were just getting the victory every after one another. You have to just write it in the description, in the comment section. Please just give any 2 explanations, if you just to give any 2 reasons for what the Magadhan king became quite successful to defeat another single clan or any tribal people at the time. Just write it in the comment section. Go to the comment section, open it, and just write and type your answer and just post it over there. I will must say that, okay? And if you just don't write it now, you know that what can be happened. Okay, and the number last point, this is number 10. This is the agro-based economy. Economy is very important, children. What happens, children, sometimes if suppose this is a lockdown situation, so so many peoples, those who belong below the poverty line, they have been just facing a severe crisis, as because economy is very important. Economy is very important for a particular person. Economy is very important for a particular family, for a particular state, for a particular country, everywhere. Without having the particular economic plan, you cannot just go ahead in your life. So that's why agro-based economy, it means agro-based economy, it means the economy of the Magadhan dynasty or the Magadhan empire at the time, it was agriculture based, and for that reason henceforth it was quite convenient for the common people. I told just earlier in the beginning of the video, in my video, that they could just easily earn their livelihood, and there was no problem with that fact. So these are the 10 reasons or the facts. For that reason Magadha had flourished in the ancient time, and amongst all the, I'm just going to repeat that amongst all the 16 mahajanapadas, Magadha had just earned the epithet that it was the greatest, it was the strongest one, it was the strongest mahajanapada at the time. Amongst all the 16 mahajanapadas, 4 different or powerful mahajanapadas existed in ancient time in India: Avanti, Vatsya, Koshala, Magadha. Avanti, Vatsya, Koshala and Magadha. And amongst all these 4 mahajanapadas, Magadha was the strongest one. In this video, I think, children, that I have made myself clear that why did Magadha flourish as the most correspondent and the most strongest powerful administrative structure, administration and the state of ancient time. Okay, now we are just moving forward to another topic, not another topic, this is a part of page number 66. We're just discussing about the system of governance in the Mahajanapadas from there. Now, I told about the monarchical Mahajanapadas, as well as I had also discussed about the republic government. So the republic government, the republic form of government was just distributed in two different ways. Last day in my last video I just completely forgot you to tell that the republican government was also segregated, discriminated. It was divided into two different phases. One is called United Republic and number two, this is called Independent Republic. Now let me tell you that what was the United Republic and number two, this is the Independent Republic. Children, I think you have just come to know that what is the meaning of republic, because in my videos I have told you several times that what was the independent system of governance, republic system of governance. Okay, the first I told that was in United and number two, this is independent. What is called United? Listen children, as because we have been just sitting inside our home, inside this particular room, so can we call that we are united? We are independent here. Means I have been just teaching you from here through my YouTube video. You are just watching my YouTube channel and this is the individual or the independent effort. And whenever I do teach inside your class, when all the students, they look after me and they just listen me very carefully with their rapt attention, this is not the individual classroom, this is not the individual effort, as because the interaction is going on. And here in this video, sorry to say, there is no interaction with you, as because you cannot just ask me any question. I cannot just, most importantly, I cannot just ask you any question. Those who are just not looking at me, I cannot just identify them. I can't just ask them any question. This is the biggest problem for me. I have to ask the questions. When the day will appear, I don't know. Okay, so the United Republic is few different tribal clans will be there. They will just make an arrangement with one another. Suppose I am also a king, I am also a ruler, and I'm not a king or a ruler, but I'm the leader of a particular clan. The name of the clan is A. Suppose this is means this Saraswati Thakur, this Saraswati, okay, goddess, she is the leader of a particular clan. So we can just make a friendship with us and we can just create a dynasty where a collaboration will be there. Exactly, the collaboration or the collab system of governance will be going on, whereas no particular king will be there. Here you can see, don't just take it, otherwise children, I don't have anything to show you. That's why I've just shown it to you. Otherwise I didn't have any intention to just do like this. Okay, so here A, B, C, D, suppose total 4 different leaders are there and they are just belonging for 4 different clans. In this way, suppose we have just collabed ourselves and we have just found we have just set up a dynasty. This will be called the united system of governance. Understood now children? But there is no particular king, there will be no particular emperor or empress. Understood? Now this is independent. This is independent means someone will be chosen on the consent of the common peoples and they will just give the designation, they will just give the credit to a particular person or a particular leader, but he will not be considered as the king or queen. You may think children that sir is telling that only one person is there, he has been just ruling over that particular region or area, but he's not called a leader, means the king or queen. Yes, why so? As because he has gone over there, he has just got his position on the consent of the common peoples. The common peoples, they have sort of thing, they have just given the responsibility on the shoulder of that particular person, and most importantly his power, his particular power, his personal power will be checked out. It will be regularly exercised by different organizations such as Sabha, Samiti, different organizations, the elders and the eldest society, the different tribal groups, they will just exercise the power of the common people. So whenever the king means the leader of a particular republic government, he will exercise his power in his own territory, in his own area. Sanghas and different Sabha, Samitis, they will play a very active role. It means if the leader is not capable enough, he can be just overthrown. Yes, he can be just overthrown from his position. So that's why this is the independent republic. Okay, this type of republic governments, we could see that I told just last day I had also given the examples of 2 different regions or the mahajanapadas where the republic government had been just existed. These are as follows. It could be Vajis and Mallas also. Just repeat, Vajis and Mallas also. Okay, the capital of Vajis, it was Vaishali. The capital of Vajis, it was Vaishali at the time, and Vaishali was the capital of the Vajis. The people who lived in Vaishali were known as the Lichavis. The peoples who just used to live in Vaishali, they were just known as the Lichavis. Gautam Buddha had just offered some advice on governance to the Vajis so that it could remain united. So the united system of government or the united principality we could say in the Vajis, as because Gautam Buddha, yes, was the founder of which religion? Just write it in the comment section. I want to know from all of you that from which religion did Gautam Buddha belong to. Gautam Buddha was the founder member of which religion? Gautam Buddha was the founder of which religion? You must just write in the comment section. Just go through over there. Okay. It seems that in the Vaji territory, most of the rules and regulations used to be written down and innocent people were never punished. This is the very good thing, I think, according to me. Children, I think you all will just give your consent, as because no innocent people was punished over there. And so apart from all these things, the persons, those who were just held responsible for any crime, if it was proved, they could be just given the severe punishment. Due to the incessant warfare with the monarchical mahajanapadas, the Ganas, Sanghas, at least I told now, the Ganas, Sanghas and the different type of these republic governments were known as the Gana, Sanghas and the Ganarajya. King and the queens were not at all there, they had been just existed over there. So that's why this republic government was also known as the Gana, Sanghas, Ganarajyas, etc. And Vaji was one of them. So where the Gana or Sangha was there. And soldiers needed to be recruited for wars, and they required a lot of expense. Such expenses were made imposing taxes on subjects. Soldiers, to maintain the army, money is very important, isn't it, children? You know what is the importance of money. Okay, so that's why for all these expenses, from where the state could just collect the taxes, is because tax was imposed. And the revenue was collected on regular basis from the common peoples. The common peoples were responsible for giving the taxes. Why? So why will they just provide the taxes? As because instead of paying taxes to the king, they used to get the security. The security purpose, it was absolutely determined by the emperor himself. Emperor, he had been given the responsibility to give the protection from any kind of foreign aggression, foreign attack, foreign invasion, and even from the neighbor sides also. If any kind of attack comes, at the time the responsibility is just given on the shoulder of the king or the emperor. So for that reason, tax was collected on regular basis, not only to just provide the expenses on the basis of the war or the warlike field. Apart from that, all the activities or the humankind activities, I mean the public welfare. For the public welfare, the emperor needed money now, and the money, it was just collected. The total expenses for the public development, for the public welfare, it was just collected for the taxes, and the taxes were paid by both different ways were there. No Google Pay, no Phone Pay were there at the time. So it was collected on cash and by kind. I mean to say that suppose I'm a farmer, I'm a peasant. So if a king, I'm also supposed to just pay out the taxes to the king now, to the government at the time. Suppose I don't have any cash money with me at the time, what can I do? It means that I will be exempted from paying taxes. No, the government will not just give me that kind of opportunity, as because I have been just living here. I have been just earning from here. So that's why I must pay the taxes to the government. So that's why if suppose I don't have money, instead I could just give different type of things. At the time, the farmers could give their yieldings, their production. Suppose 1/6%. This was the proportionate ratio in which they could just give away their taxes. What about the ultimate production? It was done, and after the production they could just give their 1/6 proportionate ratio taxes or the production to the king. In this way the tax was just provided. So that's why I told it could be just given by 2 different methods or ways, not by Phone Pay and Google Pay. It was by 2 different ways. One is called cash, and number 2, this was called kind. I think children, you have just come to know what is the meaning of kind. Whenever the cash was not available to the common peoples or the peasants or the farmers. Most of the time the farmers, they did not have cash money with them, so that's why they could not just able to provide the taxes to the government. Henceforth they used to just follow the second thing, and that was the kind. They used to yield the different crops, and after just yielding the crops, they could give the share of their crop to the king. This was the thing. Okay, now I told that the surprise will be there, and the surprise is I will ask you a question, as because for today I have to just finish over there, as because I know that the class can be, means if I just continue the class for a long period of time, it can be boring to you, and I don't want to make myself a bored person. So that's why I have decided that I will just finish the class right here, right now. Next class and the next lesson, it will be just taught by me shortly. You just subscribe my channel and just press the bell icon over there, so that not a single video can be missed by you. Okay, the question, I told you that surprise is waiting for you, and the surprise is you have to tell me that what is the previous capital of, what is the name of the previous capital of Magadha, and what was the new capital that was chosen by the Magadhan emperor. So two different types of capitals, or the names of the capitals, we have just come to know from our book. So you just must write it in the comment section. If you just write it in the comment section, whether it can be true, whether it means it can be the correct answer or the incorrect answer statement, it doesn't matter, as because we're just learning. You are not learned yet, we are just learning, isn't it? But must comment. Just go to the comment section and write what will be the answer. I'm just going to repeat the question once again for you, that what was the previous capital of Magadha, and what's the new capital that was chosen by the Magadhan empire. So two different name of the capitals we have just come to know from our history book. So the first question is that, only one question I have just asked you, that what was the capital of the Magadhan empire? What is the capital of Magadha? What is the previous one and what is the new one? So till then, stay safe, stay home. Thank you. Bye. Oh, I just completely forgot. If you're having any doubt regarding this topic, I think, children, this is my belief that all you have just understood me properly. If you're having any doubt, to clarify the doubt, you may just write what is your doubt. You may just ask me any question in the comment section. I will just give the answer as per my own convenience. Okay, so till then, stay safe, stay home. Thank you.